Yeah, so I think there is a general agreement in the industry that the long-term future clearly on the emission front alone itself means that there would be a transition to EV. The question is how fast and how quickly it will happen. So I was looking at some of those analyst research reports of 2016-17 where was a prediction that by 2023-24 everything would be electric. But I think those people have revised their estimates now. And the reason is that generally across the world, the penetration of EV has been just around 2%, except in countries like Netherlands and Norway, where it's pretty large for different reasons. But going forward, I think it all depends on a couple of things, which is actually preventing the spread of EVs at this moment. One is the cost of the battery technology at the moment is extremely high, which makes the cost of the vehicle very high, the cost of acquisition so high that probably it is some sort of a dampener for purchase of EVs. Second is in our country, the infrastructure.
Interrupt you. Having said that, the battery technology prices are falling and falling at a really fast rate. So if you
absolutely
extrapolate that forward,
I will.
Suddenly you can think something will change.
Yeah, so great point. And I was coming to that. The second thing was, of course, the infrastructure of charging. And third is this range anxiety which consumers have, because if you have bigger batteries for larger range, you have the additional cost. But as you said, that technologically, the battery powertrain costs are expected to come down. Whereas the ICE engine, the technology, the powertrain expected to go up. If you take an example of US, for example, $16,000 is the powertrain cost for electric vehicles, whereas it's $9,000 currently for the ICE vehicles. Now, as the stricter emission norms come in, the ICE powertrain cost goes up. At some point of time, they will cross. And that is the point where everything is in favor of EVs. The emission, the running cost. So there is no reason. Now, the question is, when is that point going to be crossed? The general thought, which is now the analysts and research people are saying, is that in India, it would probably be sometime between 2028 to 2030 that we will reach about 10% of the vehicles as EVs. Now, if you look at CAGRs of 6 to 8%, between 2020 to 2030, 70 million cars will be made in India. So if you take 10% and then maybe about 63, 64 million will be still ICE vehicles. What do you do about these vehicles? Because you have to do something about the emissions that these cars will give. And we believe that one of the ways is to use alternate technologies like CNG, which is so much less polluting. And you have seen extremely good growth in CNG vehicles in the past few years, and government is supporting that. And second is hybrid vehicles, we believe is the way towards electrification in India. And that is the reason why I mentioned that we would expect in the budget, for example, some support on the hybrid vehicles also, the hybrid technologies, not just EVs, which I still maintain is still practically a few years away.